Tonight, smooth out your video footage with a $14 Steadicam and a free open source animation tool you're probably not even taking advantage of. Plus, Leo discusses the future of Wi-Fi with FCC Chairman Michael Powell. It's all live from the TechTV studios in San Francisco, and it's the Screensavers!
Welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. This is the show that keeps you on the cutting edge of technology with live product demos, late-breaking tech news, interviews, and of course, the very best in computer help right here. Patrick Norton.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Rose. Tonight we have a great show. We're going to show you how to make your own Steadicam, not spending thousands, spending like $12. Leo met with the FCC Chairman, Michael Powell, to talk about the future of technology and how maybe Michael and the FCC see it going.
FCC see it going?
It gets a little tough to say.
I'm stoked about the Steadicam. That is awesome. You're saving a ton of money building one of these.
And you know what? It does actually make your, if you're willing to work with it. You know, we'll tell you more about that later. But right now, let's find out what Sarah's doing on the show.
What's Sarah up to?
I am delving into the world of animation, 3D animating. And I really don't know what I'm doing, but I have a free downloadable program.
Yeah, you're not spending a lot to figure it out.
No, that's the fun of it. That is why I'm recommending it to all of you who also don't know anything about modeling, 3D animation, and whatnot. You don't have to, because what I've got today will take you from start to finish.
Even
very
nerves.
Nice. Totally free.
Lightwave, Maya, 3D Studio Max, all very expensive programs. This one, nice and dirt cheap.
At least Maya has a free version. This one's even cooler, though. Blender's.
Cool. Oh, don't say it.
Dan, what are you up to today?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dan Hewart. Yeah!
It works! I thought I just get deadpan.
It worked. Thank God. All right. I'm here taking your phone calls. The phone number is 888-989-7879. And also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com. And don't forget, you need to manually type in thescreensavers@techtv.com because our web forms are down currently.
Nice.
Oh, and if you have a Netcam, you get a free T-shirt, by the way.
Cool.
Not bad.
Woohoo! He does the same thing at bars. Doesn't work so well. Ladies don't respond.
You hear that little chirp, chirp?
And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Hewart. And everyone's like, oh, who's that guy? What are you gonna do?
But you know that 1 out of every 300 women?
That's right. He's gold.
Let's start with today's rant. Sarah?
Sarah?
Today's topic might upset some Palm and iPad fanatics. I'm sorry, Mom. Are you guys ready for it?
Yes, indeed.
Have I piqued your interest? Okay, then. Here it is. Is the PDA revolution dead? Go.
Ooh. Did the PDA revolution ever start?
This is you start. You go off.
Okay. We actually recently people are like Sony's dropped the Cli A because they can't sell them,
right?
And people are like, oh, is the PDA revolution over? And it's like, well, maybe the $500 Game Boy for adults never really took off. I think that's one of the big questions. You know, the Pocket PC operating system from Microsoft, which was designed to be a competitor for Palm, amazing stuff. It's an MP3 player, not a great one, but it's an MP3 player. It's a camera, not a great one, but it's a camera. It's a Filofax date planner. I don't have to put batteries in a Filofax or a date planner. A lot of people I know who are really big on PDAs have given them up, gone back to using paper notebooks, paper PDAs. They've never been very good for entry. You always see the keyboard substitutes that people have been trying to use them if they want to send email and stuff. Plus, cell phones are now have like most of the features and sometimes do them even better than a lot of the PDAs we've seen.
That's funny because that's what my whole take on this thing. I was thinking about this before the show, and I think that these are really going to take off. PDAs are going to be huge, but now is not the time. People want their MP3 players like an iPod. They want them able to play videos now. We're talking about video players. I hear rumors of upcoming Apple iPod video players. Think about that bundled with a nice operating system. The operating systems are getting better. The processors are getting smaller and faster. We're going to see small handheld computers that have all the devices that we want, like an MP3 player, a cell phone, all bundled in one.
And better battery life, which is killer. Because the battery life, like, yeah, I can use my Palm for 6 hours. Of course, I'm going to be on the road for 3 days. It's like, well, then you carry around, you've got an extra, you know, an extra power pack to carry around. You've got to look for outlets. And
that's why companies like Transmeta exist. They're creating lower-powered processors that can power these digital devices to last longer.
I don't think Transmeta is the answer. I think Transmeta is a great idea that never worked out very well. We need bigger batteries, bigger, stronger batteries, and smaller amount of space.
I hear you, but Transmeta has made some major breakthroughs in the last few years. They have that new...
Name one company.
Name one. They have that huge, what was almost the CES winner of the best new handheld device, 1 gigahertz, runs Windows XP, has a 4.5-hour battery life. I mean, they're getting there.
Did it ever ship?
It's shipped. Well, it's not out yet. They're shipping it in about like 2 or 3 months.
Okay, when it ships, I'll believe it when we benchmark and see it. But you know what? You can get a full-size notebook with a full-size screen that'll deliver over 5 hours of battery life, and I bet it'll cost less money.
Well, that's true. I don't know if it'll cost less money, but it is true. A laptop is definitely better than a handheld PDA because the full-size keyboard, things of that nature. But people want small devices. They want an all-in-one. That is why Handspring is so successful right now in selling their Trio line of PDAs/cell phones. Right. Everyone's having one here in the Bay Area because they have a camera.
Where do you hang out?
Oh, dude, man, everybody's carrying those devices
If they're so successful, why are so many places dropping them?
The handsprings?
Like Sony?
Dude,
if Sony can't make a Palm OS work, are they sold out because they're not bringing the next model and they're not selling them anymore?
No. You've seen the new one. Have you played around with the new Trio 600? I actually bought one.
Game Boy for adults.
Yeah, well, it's not the Game Boy. It has the Palm OS 5. It's fast. It can play my MP3s. It has a 1 megapixel digital camera close to it.
How much memory does it have built in?
Right now, internally, it's not that much. It's like 16 or 32 megs. But it does have the expansion slot, so you can throw in, a half gig if you want to for your MP3s.
How are you connecting to the internet?
Through the cell phone. It connects through, like, I use the Sprint PCS data portion, which is faster than dial-up, and it has the full built-in browser, the Opera browser that actually does...
Can you see more than like a 16th of a page at a time?
That's a problem still, but it'll flip the image sideways so you can actually view it horizontally, and so it's getting... How
much are you dropping for that?
They're $400 or $500, but all I'm saying
halfway
is
to a low-cost notebook.
It's getting better. You are right. It is halfway to low-cost.
It is getting better, and you know what? They're starting to put like decent operating systems inside of cell phones, and you can actually get a decent... I mean, it's funny because like even the worst cell phones now have, they've got a contact list, they've got a to-do list, they've got a date book, they've got a calendar built in. You can interface them with your PC at home or your notebook. I'm with you on one thing. They're getting there, but it almost seems like they're just a lot of money for something that like changes every 6 months.
I was going to tell you, I bought the Trio 600. I don't have it anymore. I'm back to my standard cell phone. The reason being is because you're absolutely right. They are getting there, but they're not quite there yet. I think we have to wait another couple of years, 2-3 years down the road, before we start seeing some really cool devices that, I would want to carry
what's the price point? Do you think it's all going to go into cell phones, or do you think there's going to be PDAs that sit in between a notebook and a cell phone?
Well, that's a good question. We're middle-class type guys. We can afford most digital devices.
And hopefully we'll stay there.
Well, hopefully we'll stay there. And so, I will do stuff like skimp on my food just so I can have a cool MP3 player, So
I can see some people in the home like, wow, I could stop feeding the kids. And I could get all sorts of
that might work out.
I don't know. It's a great, PDAs. It's like there's always been this core group, like full-on businessmen. The people who are like, I've got a Treo 7000, and I'm a bigger man than you are. You know what I mean? Like there's like that crowd that'll always.
It's like that though here in San Francisco. Everyone's like, what kind of PDA
that was like the
have?
classic .com moment where people would like put their cell phone down on the table, and then it was like watching a poker game. It was like Liar's Poker. Then like all the PDAs would come out. And whoever had like the fanciest PDA, everybody would be like, wow. And I'd be sitting there like I'd have a notebook and a pen. And the perfect time was like invariably like 2 people would run out of battery power. There's so much money, and they seem to do so many things not so well.
I agree.
Cool
right now,
really
low-end notebook is the way to go if you're going to spend the money.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about the whole PDA scene. Is it dying? Are cell phones going to replace them? Is it time to go back to paper? Kick us an email and let us know what you think.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sure.
She loves PDAs. This
big time.
No, I write on my hand still.
See?
It works fine until you shower.
That's true.
It's true.
And that's always fun. Mark joins us on the G4 TechTV Netcam network. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Patrick. Hey, Kevin. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Do you have a PDA?
No, I don't. What my problem is, I have a web host right now, and I was looking for maybe better bandwidth capabilities than what I have now. I'm with Powell right now. I was wondering what you guys might suggest. Of course, most of their stuff is Unix. I was also possibly looking at Windows stuff as well.
All right, so you're running out of bandwidth with your web host. Are you serving video files, things of that nature?
I'm an antivirus reseller and do security consulting.
Okay.
So people download a lot of stuff from your website, a lot of products, a lot of updates, or what's taking up all your bandwidth? How much bandwidth do you have now, and
how much do you need?
Why is it going away so fast?
Well, it's not so much that it's going away so far so fast. I know most places are like 20 or 30 bucks a month for a couple gigabytes of bandwidth, but with mine, I'm running about 5 gigabytes daily.
Okay, well, let me help you out. One thing that I've been lucky enough to do is that I love web-related projects, and I have a project that I serve a lot of videos on. And I've had to make the move to several different web hosts, so I have used probably about a good dozen different web hosts that are out there. I have, actually, I have all the web pages pulled up on that first computer. Let me pull that up real quick. I'm going to give you the breakdown. I'm going to give you my top picks for my favorite web hosts that I've used in the past. So,
okay, thanks, Kevin.
Take a look at all the different hosting options that I'm going to give you here, and then decide which one is best for you. I'll work from the cheapest. The cheapest is one that I really like is ReadySetConnect.com. They're really inexpensive. We're talking 40 gigabytes of bandwidth starting at $7.95, and they go up from there. That is for the low end. They are on shared servers, meaning that if somebody else's website has a funky CGI script that causes their server to crash, your site's going down as well. Shared servers is a cheap way for ISPs to fit as many people as they can, different user accounts, different domain names, all on a single machine. So that's not always the way to go. Now, talking about dedicated servers, one that we really like that we've showed here in the past, serverbeach.com. These guys are really great because they give you your own dedicated box, so you have your own server. They start at $99 per month. You can get Linux or Windows servers. One thing I like is they offer Debian servers, which are really easy to update with Debian packages and whatnot. They also offer some really good control panels, such as things like cPanel and some of the other control panels for controlling, adding new email addresses, things of that nature. No matter what you need to do, it's nice and easy in one control panel. Starting at $99, and they're going to give you 2,000 gigabytes of data transfer per month. That one there is for $249. $99, they still give you 2,000 gigabytes of data transfer. And we lost Mark.
Hopefully, Mark probably dropped the phone and is writing this down really fast.
Turn up the volume, Mark, because I'm going to give you the rest of them here. Another one that we like that I've used in the past is Everyone Servers is ev1servers.net. Also packages starting at 99 bucks. They give you 1,000 gigabytes of monthly transfer, which is always nice. Again, they give you a whole bunch of different options there as far as which type of operating system you want on there, whether it be Red Hat or Debian or any variation of Unix. They have a lot of them, or Linux, I should say. Also, they have Windows servers as well. The last one, Rackspace, and I say that because we use them for our LAN parties. They're a little more expensive. Now, just to let you know, the one I showed you before, Server Beach, is created by the founders of Rackspace as well, but it's lower cost. What you're paying for with Rackspace more than anything is the customer service. You can call them 24/7, and you're always going to be able to talk to a live person, versus the other services you normally have to submit a trouble ticket if you're having problems. It may take them anywhere from a few minutes to a couple hours to respond back to you. But if you have mission-critical applications, or you have a business that you actually need to depend on 24/7, then your best bet is probably something. Look at this, already popping up with live conversations trying to help me with Server Beach. Anyway, yeah, it's nice because you can have live conversations, live chat, things like that. Those are some good options, starting at $7.95, working up to several $100s a month.
One quick question. Server Beach, 2,000 gigabytes a month for $100 a month.
Right.
EV1 servers, 1,000 gigabytes, half as much traffic for $99 a month. Why EV1 over Server Beach?
You just have to really compare exactly what they have as far as what they're offering you as control panel-wise, what they're giving you as far as add-ons go, how many IP addresses do you get per box. Also, take a look at their support. You may want to try them out and actually contact them with some problems before, or questions, see how fast they get back to you. I've used both of them. I like both of them. I don't know. Check out where they're located geographically. See if they have multiple hubs across the internet, or they're just centrally located. Look at what type of redundancy they have, what type of battery backup they have. Make sure that they're the ones that you want to go with. Again, I've just used both of them. I've had really good success and luck with both of them, so I'm recommending them both.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend. Good stuff. Thanks for the call, Mark. Great question.
Yes, indeed. We are just getting started. The FCC Chairman Michael Powell talks to Lee about the future of broadband, and after the break, smooth out your bouncy home video footage with a $14 Steadicam that's going to save you $450 when the screensavers continue.
Some people say the word technology and they say it with fear and terror, like it's a bad thing. one man
All technology is something new to make your life easier.
has led a dedicated team of computer superheroes
And not only does it make life easier, it's really changing the world we know.
on a mission
I think it's important that we understand it, we know it, we not be afraid of it.
to save the world
This is a revolution.
from digital disaster.
So that's what we do on the show. We help you use technology.
Call for help.
If you've got a question, we would love to answer it for you.
TechTV has the best technological minds on hand to dish out the data.
And the two of them will give you 10, 20, 30% improvement in performance.
So next time you come face to face with a malicious motherboard
I can help you.
or strike digital disaster,
What's the problem this time, Nina?
call for help every night at 7:30 on TechTV.
I had shoes like yours once, when I was 5.
And that was what, like 3 days ago?
Try 3 years.
They're two Uptown brats.
Give me that plate.
Oops, no, sorry, you might infect it.
They've got everything they want,
Can I have him for my birthday?
but now they're about to get what they really need.
You're my new nanny?
Each other.
We're going to sit in giant teacups and spin round and round in circles until we puke.
Are you insane?
FOXTEL Box Office presents
When you work for me, you leave when I say you can leave.
Brittany Murphy,
I quit!
Dakota Fanning,
Ringing door.
with Jesse Spencer, Heather Locklear, and a couple of rock stars.
You and I, we're going to be friends.
Grown-ups never stay friends with kids.
I don't see any grown-ups around here.
Uptown Girls starts November 18 on FOXTEL Box Office.
When you're shooting with your handheld video camera, static shots are easy. Use a tripod, or at least stand in one place, brace your camera really carefully and shoot. But keeping a steady camera when you're walking or running or following somebody that's walking or running is a pain. One solution, you spend $500 on a Steadicam system, or you can maybe build one for $14. Guess which route we went?
$14. Is
I
this really
think
going to
so.
be as good as a $500 Steadicam?
It's pretty impressive. We followed a tutorial by Johnny Chung Lee, and he put it up. He was basically looking at the cost of a Steadicam, thinking this is insane. Now, the whole idea, let's show a picture of the Steadicam Junior. Now, Steadicam, the full-size one they use in movies, it's a big strap-on device. Steadicam Junior like this has a little ball and socket there, and it pivots the camera above a counterweight. That's the big thing hanging down below. And the idea is that you get nice, smooth camera movements from the counterweight no matter how you move the camera. So if we walk out here, instead of a camera being as we walk forward doing the big exaggerated thing like that, the idea is if we hold the Steadicam, and it takes some practice.
I got your wire here.
Oh, thank you. And it's really hard to do when you have a tail, is the idea is that you learn how to move steady and you take advantage of it and you get those nice swings like that. And the idea is with practice, you use this. We got our little counterweight down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, about 2.5-pound counterweight. And it's basically, you called it before in pre-show, the Home Depot project.
Yeah.
It's pretty painless. And it actually works.
So walk me through exactly how you build something like this.
Well, basically, before we do that, why don't we show some footage we shot?
Okay.
Actually, do we have
Before
that?
and after stuff?
We got the before and after footage. We
All
kind of
right.
like this. You can tell it's handheld. It's obviously somebody who's really stomping along there. That's without a Steadicam. And actually, we should point out, this is with our fabulous $14 Steadicam. Let's take a look at what happens. See how smooth that gets? And the idea is that the counterweight helps balance the camera and helps you hold the camera a little more steady than you can normally. Now, let's detach this off of here. Like you said, it's a Home Depot project. What we do is we end up creating is you start out with, basically lengths of pipe, half-inch pipe, pre-threaded pipe, 1 foot, and we're going to create, and basically, the first thing you do is screw one of the side pipes in there to create a hub. The second thing you do is take a look at the top of Kevin's, right above Kevin's left hand there, as you create a mount on that. And it's basically, if you can drill holes, and this is the one part that gets kind of troublesome, is actually drilling holes into these end pipe caps. Like this one here. Basically, you drill a bunch of 1/4-inch holes, 1 in each of 2 end caps. You need 3 end caps total. And you thread together, you basically create your own little mounting system on that. If you take a look at it at the end of that, where Kevin's at, well, basically, is they thread the parts through there. It's like a 2-inch washer that they've beaten down. And we basically created a little round cup. And what that does is spread out the mount there. We can screw our camera down on there. And then we can screw our little wing nut up there to clamp that down to the bottom of the camera.
Now, how did you create the cup out of that washer? Did you just bend it?
Let me kick that out of the way. Actually, they give you some pretty cool directions in there. Basically, all you need is a ball peen hammer and the 2.5-pound weight you use. And you can actually, what I did is basically put the ball peen and use another piece of pipe. This is real high-tech, folks. And you can basically bang it down like that, and you'll get a nice, yeah, it actually really hurt my ears, too. You get a nice cup-type shape. And what it does is it distributes the pressure that's holding the camera onto the screw around a big area so it doesn't wobble back and forth on top of your homemade Steadicam.
Nice.
It's a pretty basic project, though. It's the other thing, the counterweight, basically, you're just using a couple of, wide washers here to hold the pipe on the end. Maybe it'd be better to shoot it right on the end of there. Thread it through here, and then through the weight.
Little 2.5-pound weight here at the bottom?
Yeah, if you can build an erector set, you can build this, no problem.
Cool.
We drilled all the parts we needed for this and put one together in about 15 minutes. Took us another 10 minutes of playing around to decide how we like to hold it, and that's where it can get kind of interesting.
Now, what about the tape? Would you put, like, a grip on here? You were saying something about a bicycle grip earlier.
Something would be nice, because you end up surrounding... You notice the reason we put the tape there, if you hold it up a little bit, normally, if you would be looking at this, you would see a big, like, half-inch section of threaded pipe in there. These threads can be really sharp, and they will cut your hands, especially towards the top end. So we just wrap that... Like, if you use the sort of friction tape you use for a hockey stick grip, that would be great. The other thing you do is you end up the paint itself, you want to spray paint the pipe or something, because you basically pick up sort of some nasty black gook on that. But once you've got it put together, it's pretty easy to use. Now, let me borrow that for a second.
Yeah.
Part of what we were saying, like some kind of a bicycle grip or just making a big knurl up here out of tape, just wrap it around and around and around like the end of a hockey stick, because you basically end up supporting the weight of the camera plus this weight down here, about somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds, depending on how much weight you use and how heavy the camera is. You end up supporting the whole thing. Instead of using a ball joint, your hand becomes the ball joint. So this can be really tiring, grabbing onto that tiny piece of pipe for a while.
Now, last question. How does this differ between this and, like, say, the several $1,000 model that you would pay for?
The several thousand, like the $500 model is basically they put a ball joint and a big counterweight that swings forward and back. That was that picture we saw at the beginning. But like the big, heavy-duty, like multi-$1,000 professional one, it's basically, it straps on and there's a counterbalance and you end up with this,
body, actually.
yeah, you basically end up with a camera on a stick here, and then the camera itself, the weight of that and all the supporting stuff is on a harness and a big, it almost looks like a big giant, bulletproof vest you strap on, and the whole camera weighs off of that. It's a really great way to destroy your lower back. Very few good Steadicam operators basically have any functioning in some of their vertebrae back here.
I'll take the $14 option.
We like the $14 option. It's really easy. It can make a huge difference, especially if you like, if you want to follow a soccer team or running off something. It's a really cool thing to play around with. It costs nothing to build one for yourself. Check out our show notes at thescreensavers.com. We got the links. Great idea.
Nice.
Not ours, but we loved it, so we want to tell you all about it.
$14. Now, still to come, Leo chats with the FCC Chairman Michael Powell about the future of wireless technology. And up next, forget Xbox Live, save some cash, and learn how to use Xbox System Link over the net. That's all when the Screensavers continue.
Whether you want to play hard, play fair, play nice, or play dirty.
I know what you want, but it's not always about what you want.
Whether you want to play the field, play the commander, play the knight in shining armor, or play the bad guy.
It's unthinkable.
Whether you want to play it cool, play the ghoul, play around, or play for keeps.
Sometimes it's hard to resist the temptation.
XPlay has got you covered. With all the latest news, reviews, and interviews, you can take your gaming to the next level.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you will soon.
XPlay, tonight at 6, only on TechTV.
Get more from the web. Here are some useful sites from TechTV. Grab your notebook and go online almost anywhere. Wifinder.com is an online directory of public access points for Wi-Fi or hotspots. Hotspots use 802.11b technology to provide a wireless internet connection to mobile computer users. Wifinder has a list of thousands of hotspots from all over the world, from Europe to Asia. Search for the nearest location or choose a city. You can also find Wi-Fi statistics or links to other wireless sites. While you're spending some quality time with the internet, have you received an email or text message from a friend that looks like hieroglyphics? Translated.com can decipher that message for you. Just type in the sentence or phrase, click on the translate button, and voila, it all makes sense. Or if you'd like to send your own instant messaging lingo, Translate.com does that too. For more useful sites, visit TechTV.com.
In November, get wild with Animal Planet. Animal Planet brings you the definitive guide on India's magnificent wildlife. India Uncovered. More groundbreaking discoveries about chimps on Jane Goodall's Return to Gombe. Watch how a cub is groomed to be the African king. See a side of Africa few have seen. Savage Paradise. Animal Planet. It grabs you in November.
Matt joins us from Clinton Township, Michigan. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
How can we help you?
Good. Well, good. I have Xbox Live, but my buddy doesn't. And there's a lot of good System Link games coming up, I'm hoping. And the few that I have, like Halo and that. Can I play System Link over the internet without having Xbox Live for both of us?
You can indeed. I did this as a little dark tip a while back on how to get around the whole Xbox Live. Yeah, it's an application called XBConnect. And let me pull up the website here 1 second here. I believe it's XBConnect.com. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this is it right here. Go to XBConnect.com is the name of the website. And it's a piece of software that you download, and it runs on Windows XP. And it'll basically run inside of your system. You have to have a desktop computer. Right. And it's going to route the traffic to your friend's computer and connect the two as if you had them sitting in the same room.
Do you have to mod both Xboxes?
No, you do not.
So you don't need to mod it?
With a standard Xbox, because the Xbox doesn't know the difference. It's just looking for another computer that's connected locally. Okay. So this is pretending like it's almost like a bridge. It's bridging these two networks, or like a VPN. Right. It's connecting these two networks through a tunnel and connecting the games together, and the Xbox doesn't know the difference.
So basically it's an alternative to using the Xbox system.
Right. Not every game that's Xbox Live has the XB Connect or the Direct Connect, but a lot of them do. They list all the games here on the right-hand side and tell you exactly which ones. Here's all the supported games like your Halo, Halo 2. I mean,
Inside Pitch, Lynx,
NFL Fever 2004. I mean, you name it. There's a huge list of them there, but it works great. We've demoed it on the show before. In fact, I'd like to get that. I'd like to do it again. I think it's time for a refresh. It's been a long time, and they've come out with a new version that I'm sure is even better than before. But it's cool because you can chat with your friend. You can even connect with other people. Can join in your room and connect and play. And it's great. It provides an entire little chat room for you, and then it instantly connects and routes that traffic, so there's nothing you need to do.
Can your Xbox and the system that this is running on be anywhere on the network, or do they have to connect directly?
They don't have to connect directly. They can be anywhere on the network. They'll find each other through any type of switch or little router, Linksys router that you may have. And it works great. We used it here. We demoed it. And is that what you're looking for, Matt? Did that help you out?
Yeah, that sounds good. Now, can I also do some Xbox Live games, or is that just for System Link games only?
This is just for games that support System Link. It does not work with the live games. A lot of the ones that support live will also support the System Link. But, yeah, as far as the live in, it actually needs
no way
that
to hack Microsoft
it
Live.
needs that Microsoft server in order to play those games and connect users. So, but this is there's a ton of games here. So give this a try. It's a lot of fun. We've done it before.
Very cool.
Thanks, Matt.
Good question.
Now, here is Sarah with a quick Windows tip.
I do have a quick Windows tip, and it's a good one. If XP seems a little slow and cumbersome to you, there might be a quick method to optimize your performance. So first, what you're going to do is right-click on My Computer and choose Properties. Then click the Advanced tab. Then in the Performance area up here on the top, click the Settings button. And then at this point, you've got the choice to let Windows choose what's best or adjust yourself for best appearance, best performance, or custom. It's all at your fingertips, and it's easy. Now, coming up later in the show, model, animate, and render 3D creations using my free download of the day. Yay! And after the break, Leo chats with FCC Chairman Michael Powell about the future of Wi-Fi and broadband. And the Screen Savers continues.
This is TechTV. Amazing, engaging, and always entertaining. Get help and information.
From PDAs to cell phones to home theater.
See cutting-edge documentaries.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Check out the hottest new gadgets.
It's like an electronic eye, so it can actually see what the problem is.
On the air and online. TechTV. New things. Turn us on.
This November on BBC World, it's the soundtrack of our lives from the cotton fields to the cotton club. From big bands to music icons. Starting this November, an 8-part series, Walk On By, the story of popular song. How can the world fight against an enemy spreading its influence while deep in hiding? With exclusive interviews, the secret war between the intelligence agencies and the Al-Qaeda network is revealed in a 3-part series, The Third World War, in Global Terror Season.
Freelancers are the bravest people on earth in journalism.
In memory of Rory Peck, the work and bravery of freelance news cameramen are celebrated in the firing line. That's the highlights this November on BBC World.
Hard at work. Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, yes, Sarah's finally going to show you a free full-featured 3D modeling program. Runs almost any operating system, or on almost any operating system, and you're going to be amazed. Plus, we're going to tell our next caller whether or not a CPU upgrade is worth the money. Right now, though, while we were in Washington, D.C., Leo sat down with the chairman of the FCC, Michael Powell, to find out just where, well, the FCC sees the future of Wi-Fi and broadband. Let's take a look.
We're in the Washington, D.C. offices of the chairman of the FCC, Michael Powell. Thank you for letting us come in here. It's a beautiful office.
Oh, you're welcome, Leo. This is great. It's good to have an opportunity to show your viewers what we do.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. I know one of the things that the FCC under you has been very active in is bringing internet access to everybody, solving the digital divide, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still say that our #1 objective is not just to get broadband, but to get it as widely and as affordable as possible. And I'm actually more excited about this effort at a universal service than almost anything we've done before. What I like about the technology revolution is now we can use many more technologies to deliver services. So, for example, in Manhattan, a wired infrastructure may be very cost efficient because of the density, but in Montana, satellite delivered might be.
One of the technologies people are very excited about, I know the FCC is looking into, is broadband over power lines. Hams are going crazy, of course, saying it's a big interference issue. How do you handle that?
This is the agency more than any other that has for its entire 70-plus year history has concerned itself with managing interference.
Right.
And I think that we always have that at the forefront of any new technology we are working on. And we have it at the forefront of broadband over power line. Absolutely, there are issues associated with it, but we also are growing in our confidence that there is room and there is an ability to allow more commercial deployments of this system and still protect the interests of ham operators and others. And that's what we're working on. That's what the proceedings are about. What should the interference rules, what should there be protections about? And I think we'll work it out. But right now, I'm quite bullish. I think that what we've seen from a technical standpoint so far is that it works as a broadband technology, and it can be done without causing any kind of catastrophic interference for other users.
So how fast are we talking with the BPL?
I think that they're getting speeds, you know, for sort of initial commercial deployment at 2 to 4 megahertz.
Wow.
Megabits per second, excuse me. Then you see the innovative combinations of networks. So I saw a trial recently where power lines brought broadband into the neighborhood, ran it to the junction boxes, the transformer, those little green boxes, but then put Wi-Fi antennas in the boxes. And so they actually didn't bring it to the home over power line. They just brought it to the neighborhood, and then they, through concentric circles, lit up the whole neighborhood, which meant for a lot of interesting things, like you subscribe to broadband, you go to your neighbor's house, and you can still use it.
That's the holy grail. I mean, Wi-Fi everywhere. How long before it's completely ubiquitous? That's where
it might not be Wi-Fi, but I think you know, lately I started talking about there are a lot of metaphors you can chase, and I like to chase Star Trek for a little while, which is I want to be Captain Kirk. I want to flip that communicator anywhere I am, and if you really believe in that vision, you have to have wireless.
So you say it's not just Wi-Fi. Well, what other technologies are we talking here?
I think that we have technologies like ultra-wideband coming along, which use spread spectrum at low power that are going to be really powerful for consumer applications and for industrial applications. I like to tell my neighbors, can't you wait for the day where the only plug is the power cable and everything else about the connectivity is wireless? That's what ultra-wideband can mean.
So besides these internet technologies, what about wireless carriers, cell phones, 3G cell phones, that kind of thing?
I think they play very strongly. You know, one of the things we were first worried about with the introduction of Wi-Fi on licenses, everybody said the big guys will want to kill it. So I think particularly for a business user who has, say, a Verizon account or an MCI or Sprint, more appropriately, account, and they have their terrestrial wireless, if in addition to that you have data capability like EVDO, I think that's going to be big, and I think they've been surprised by the take-up rate of that, because once you've been able to do data without having to worry about being plugged in, you don't want to ever go back.
That's great. Recently, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that cable systems should open up their networks to other internet service providers. You're appealing that, and I know that your predecessor, William Kennard, was also very much in favor of keeping cable systems closed. Why are you protecting cable systems?
It's not protecting the cable companies. I think this is an important point. It's whether you should treat broadband like a telephone system. Open access is only one tiny part of what that decision could mean. The battle in the court is whether to call a broadband service, in this case, cable broadband service, a telecom service or an information service. I don't see anything in the decision that would prevent application to a Wi-Fi provider or a broadband over power line provider, or anybody who was actually delivering broadband communications could arguably be called a telecom service provider. The burden that would impose on the innovation of internet would be catastrophic, in my opinion.
Yeah. Chairman Michael Powell, thank you so much. Our time is up, but it's been great talking to you.
Very cool stuff. Heavy duty stuff. Yeah. Stay where you are, folks.
Our next caller is looking for an upgrade to a CPU. Find out if he gets all the bang for his buck. But up next, whether you represent Mac, Windows, or Linux, Sarah's download is amazing and it's completely free. That's all when the screensavers continue.
One man.
All technology is something new to make your life easier.
Has led a dedicated team of computer superheroes.
And not only does it make life easier, it's really changing the world we know.
On a mission.
I think it's important that we understand it, we know it, we not be afraid of it.
To save the world from digital disaster.
This is a revolution.
Call for help tonight at 7:30 on TechTV.
It's time for some cool stuff.
For pro swimmers, the need for speed is crucial. So what better than a swimsuit that was designed after a jet plane? Adidas has unveiled its Jet Concept full-body swimsuit. Inspired by the wings and fuselage of a jet aircraft, the suit was created to reduce drag time. It has special riblets that help water flow faster off the swimmer's back and shave seconds off that breaststroke. This girl isn't preparing for a Hollywood movie stunt. She's getting ready to dance. Students at Purdue University are experimenting with high-tech choreography. The dancer straps on a motion capture suit to create her own animated partner. The suit tracks her movements, projects them on screen, and these guys use their laptop to help the computer image get its groove on. Okay, it's just an experiment. It doesn't quite have the moonwalk down yet.
Stay tuned for more cool stuff, only on TechTV.
After 16 straight wins, the time has come for Australia's Nadal Skinny Hussain, the WBC Super Bantamweight title fight. Hussain versus Larios.
Plus, one of the fiercest rivalries of our time. Morales versus Barrera, the third collision for the WBC and IBF Super Featherweight title. See Skinny Hussein live, Sunday, November 28th, 1 p.m. Call to book. FOXTEL Digital Press box office from November 26th.
Screensavers. Right now, it's time for Sarah's download of the day.
I want what Dan's getting over there. That is some serious.
I think Dan's breaking some laws, actually.
I'm a happy man.
She's an intern, Dan. She's an intern.
I'm sorry. This
what
is
did I
Mayhaw, by the way.
Hello.
Very nice.
She's doing a wonderful job. And she's 15. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's mutual. Okay, moving on to the download of the day, shall we? There are tons of graphics and animation programs, 3D stuff, that the pros swear by. Maya, 3D Studio Max, After Effects. Kevin had mentioned a few more at the beginning of the show. There are a lot of them. Most of them cost a lot of money. If you haven't heard of an open source program called Blender, then you are totally missing out. It'll run on Windows, Linux, Mac, FreeBSD, Solaris, the whole nine. But the best thing of all is you can download it totally free, and it's the real deal. It's not a watermarked version or a version that has less features or a 30-day trial or anything like that. It's completely open source and completely free. I've got it open here, and what I've done is actually, let me just switch from wireframe into a solid frame. I've got this fun little satellite. It's a model that I downloaded off the internet, and it was completely easy. All you have to do really is just do a Google search. There's a bunch of different sites. I mean, hundreds, literally hundreds of Blender resource sites, and that's the great thing about open source stuff, because a lot of people can contribute to the cause, right? So when I open it up, I mean, this is a full-featured program, and I am no expert by any stretch. I couldn't even pretend to be one. But it's fun to look around, and as I play around a little bit, I'm realizing, okay, here's how I change my frames, and here's how I change my modes and stuff like that. And I'm getting a little bit curious, a little bit more about Blender, but I don't know where to start, right? Well, that's the great thing about this program, is that there's a million resources. One of the ones I like a lot is blender3d.org. .com will also work, but .org, whatever. And as you look here, I mean, there's Python scripts, there's plugins, there's templates. This is all in addition to the program itself. External renderers that will work with Blender. Yefray is one of them. I know a lot of people use that. Textures. I mean, it goes on and on. And then when I look a little bit more closely, now I can see, here's some rendered images that you can achieve using Blender. I mean, this looks really professional to me. This is really cool stuff. Even better is some of the videos. Now, this is all just examples of things that people who know a lot more than you or I have done. There are tutorials at the site and many others. So it's like you can start from absolutely nothing and build, with a simple model. You can make it move, change the color, change the shading and stuff like that. Here's a video I actually really like that someone created. This is, this gives you an idea of what you can achieve if you know what you're doing, right? I mean, this is something, it looks like Pixar, you know what I mean? He's a cute little microphone guy. And if you move on a little bit more, I've got another video here, and this is like 7-8 megs kind of stuff, so it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. I was impressed. So what I'm going to do at this point is, of course, play with my little satellite here using Blender and figure out a little bit more of what I'm going to do. But for you, you can download Blender for yourself, of course, at a number of Blender sites. As I said, blender3d.org is a good place, but you can download it a lot of other places, and it's totally free. I mean, you have nothing to lose, and there are 1,000,001 people who want to help you learn more about it, and you can get the source code. The whole project will grow and grow. I believe it began with a Dutch company that, for whatever reason, went out of business. The GPL license was picked up, and now it is just for all of us to have our fun with. You can get the download and all the links that I mentioned in my download of the day archive at sarahland.com. It's good.
Wow.
Wow. Back to you guys.
It's cool, and actually there's a lot of schools now that are starting to teach Blender. It's really taken on. Cool. Very cool stuff. Thanks, Sarah. Now let's check in with Puff Daddy Dan for a helpful tip.
Puff Daddy Dan. That's good, guys. Anyways, okay. If you're looking for the web's best downloads of apps, games, and themes for all the major OSs, then your search is over. Why? Because there's two very popular download sites. One is download.com, as you see right here, and also what we have is Tucows.com. And now these provide all the latest downloads for your computer and even your PDAs. Check them out and see which one is best for you. Now, coming up after the break, Derek, our next caller, wants PCI Express. Should he wait? What should he do? PCI Express is dope, but should he wait? It's all coming up right after these announcements.
Whether you want to play hard, play fair, play nice, or play dirty.
I know what you want, but it's not always about what you want.
Whether you want to play the field, play the commander, play the knight in shining armor, or play the bad guy. It's unthinkable. Whether you want to play it cool, play the ghoul, play around, or play for keeps.
Sometimes it's hard to resist the temptation.
X-Play has got you covered. With all the latest news, reviews, and interviews, you can take your gaming to the next level.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you will soon.
X-Play, weeknights at 6, only on TechTV.
This November on Showtime Greats, you'll see movies that are irresistible.
Let's rock and roll!
Resistance is futile.
Assimilate this.
Movies that fight for life.
Controller's power. Power is when we have every justification to kill, and we don't. That's power.
And rally for freedom.
You don't like Hustler magazine. Don't read it. I don't.
Forward is back!
This November on Showtime Greats, you'll see movies that break the mold.
You can't be Chaplin. How old is this one?
She's underage is all that matters.
Might be Chaplin after all.
And change the rules.
This is just the beginning. It won't stop until you're dead.
Movies that care.
Something has happened to him. This man is not your father.
Just happy.
And movies that don't.
Honey, you look tired.
Can't you start with a hello and then move into a criticism?
This November on Showtime Greats.
Derek joins me on the phone from Newbury Park, California.
Hey, Derek.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good, except for this question.
All right.
With the new AMD 64-bit processors, I'm planning on, upgrading my computer and stuff. And there's two questions I have. One of them is with Windows, the 64-bit Windows. What's the deal with that? I hear that it may come out in a year, or it may not even come out at all.
Well, that's the miracle of operating system releases, Derek. I wouldn't say it's not going to cut. I would be shocked if it was never released. I mean, here's the thing. Microsoft loves to make money. A great way to make more money is to release another operating system. Case in point, Windows ME. Utterly useless, utterly annoying, not necessary. Made them a bunch of money before they released just a few months later Windows XP. So I'd say they'll release an operating system any chance they get at Microsoft.
They're going to try to, and if they can't get this one out the door in time, we know that Longhorn is indeed based off 64-bit technology. There's going to have a 64-bit version of Longhorn, which of course is several years out. But it's coming.
2006. In terms of the 64-bit version of it, it's in beta now. If you have an AMD processor, you can download it, you can try it. We wouldn't recommend it as your main system. It's more for people who are developing drivers and software. So it's probably going to ship. Because you know what? Over time, there's going to be more and more 64-bit processors out there. So I'd say there's... I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for it, but it's going to come out at one point or another.
I've yet to see a Microsoft operating system that was in beta that was never released. So eventually they'll get it out the door. Now, what was your second question?
It's about the new motherboards coming out in the fall with the PCI Express.
Or coming out this summer, as the case may be.
Really?
Soon.
But is that something to wait for? Like, is it going to be so much better? I should wait for it to come out.
I'd worry. It's less than it's going to be so much better out the gate. But that you remember when Derek, how old are you? Do you remember? Life
14.
before AGP? You probably remember barely life before AGP cards, graphics cards. You're a gamer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember when like PCI cards just stopped disappearing off the shelves because everybody moved to AGP cards for graphics?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Imagine buying a brand new $100, $200 motherboard just in time for the AGP technology on that to start to become, well, out of date, and in a year when you're ready to update your graphics to find out that maybe some of the best graphics cards out there are no longer offered on your platform. I mean, that's kind of extreme, but generally speaking, I'd say if I was buying a high-end system, if I was putting together a high-end system, I'd definitely try to get PCI Express, because if you're going to update cards in the next year and a half, I'd say, you know, year and a half, 2 years out, you're definitely...
Everything's going to be PCI Express.
Yeah, not everything. And there's a lot of AGP systems out there, and a lot of high-end gamers still have AGP motherboards, but yeah, the PCI Express is going to offer...
It's the way everything's going, though. And also, just to let you know, there's some really cool technologies that are coming out with the PCI Express. The cool thing about PCI Express is they can have multiple slots that are PCI Express. We've seen something from, who was it that did the dual PCI Express cards?
Well, there's the, that's a whole nother
No, but it's something to consider. I mean, there's dual PCI cards that you can put in, PCI Express cards that you can put in. One's going to paint one top of the screen,
that's
the other's going to paint the bottom.
Technology from a single gaming company. But we don't know if they're going to sell it to other companies.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about the technical benefits of going to this. We're talking about twice the performance. We're talking about really cool things that we're going to see on PCI Express. You can find out more. In fact, we did an interview, TechTV did an interview with the chairman of that's in charge of the consortium for PCI, PCISig.com. Check out this URL. He talks about right down here, about halfway down, live TechTV interview with the chairman. Click on that, and you'll see he's going to talk about the future of PCI Express. He has some really great stuff to say.
Yeah. Of course, he wants everybody to move to it as quickly as possible.
Of course.
It's his new standard. It's going to be interesting, Derek, because we don't know if they're going to offer multiple graphics quality, slots on the new motherboards. There's a whole range of possibilities in how they could lay the motherboards out. But yeah, if I was buying a brand new high-end motherboard, I'd wait for PCI Express to ship, Derek.
And AMD is changing their form factor on the chips as well. They're changing to a new pinout. They're supposed to couple with that. So
they'd love to do that. So does Intel.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, Derek. Good
questions.
Hope
that helped you out, Derek.
Now we got Leo, who has another fine tip for us.
What do you got, Leo?
Fellas, I'm going to tell you something I wish my father had told me when I was a young sprat. I feel stupid not knowing this. Maybe you already know it. Maybe it's just me. But I thought that every camera had its different proprietary USB connector. It turns out, no, there's standards. There's actually just a few different USB connectors. So if you lose the cable that hooks your camera up to your computer, you can easily get another one. Let me show you how it works. This is a USB-A connector. We're all familiar with this. That's the male connector that goes into almost every computer and every USB device. By the way, this is the female side of that. Almost all USB cables, of course, have male and female, but almost always the female is on the computer and the device hooks up via A. So that's A. You're probably familiar with B, which is that large doohickey. You'll see that on a lot of bigger devices like USB network dongles, things like that, those USB Wi-Fi dongles. So there's an A to a B. Well, now we go to the camera sizes, and those are just mini Bs. There are a couple of flavors, but not that many. This is one mini B. This is the kind of wide, big mini B. And this is the fat mini B. I don't know, thin, wide, short, fat. I guess that's how you describe these. Almost all cameras, almost all USB devices with small connectors use one or the other of these mini Bs. There is one exception. That's the Fuji FinePix. For some reason, they do their own proprietary thing. But the truth is, you can almost always get away with one of these two mini B cables. So I just bought a whole bunch of them because I lose my cables all the time. This is ramelectronics.net, where I found a description of all the different kinds of cable connectors. And you can buy them all, and they'll even say which cameras they work with if you're too confused to understand this. I know I was for years. Can you believe my father never told me this? Son, there are only really 4 different kinds of USB connectors. Live learning. Am I the only one? Back to you guys.
Thanks, Leo. Stay where you are. Up next, we're going to check our inbox to see what's on your mind when the screensavers continue.
Buy my book.
Fresh Gear, TechTV's fascinating series, brings you cutting-edge innovations that are changing today's tech landscape.
What if the deaf could do this and then get a computer to do this?
Restaurant. Fresh Gear introduces the hottest gadgets, test drives the coolest rides, and shows viewers what new gear is worth the time and the money. Whether on land, in the air, or underwater, Fresh Gear has the latest products making an impact on today's digital lifestyle. Fresh Gear is next, only on TechTV.
Hi.
Hi.
What?
Nothing.
Has anything actually happened between you two yet?
Yeah, we've been married for 20 years. We live on the beach, where I paint and he writes Pulitzer Prize-winning novels. No. Charlie.
What?
Do you love me?
Oh, baby, come on.
You're like a big turkey. I feel trapped in here.
Do you think you are who you are?
Do you like me as a person?
Or you can change it, control your life?
What is going on with you?
You can't escape yourself.
No. You can reinvent yourself, though.
I'm a single mother with a daughter. One wage, small house. I'm an artist.
Any reason why you're doing a quarter of the speed limit?
Oh, I'm a safe driver. Louise, eat your dinner.
There's a cockroach in my quiche.
Louise.
Mum.
Oh, I was so scared. What if I'm just up? What if I hate it? There's no turning back. Is everything okay?
Yeah, you know, work, life, stuff, death.
What's wrong, darling? Every time I see you, you look so inside yourself. Tom! So who's this chick you bulked, Tom?
Is this anyone's business?
It is when you do it in a public hallway.
I've had sex with you so often in my head. It almost feels like it's normal. See you at work.
It's about that time. Sarah, how goes the inbox file?
Well, the first one is just deserves to be read. This is from Nick Soar. I got my wisdom teeth out, and now I can't do anything because of the medication I'm on. Probably because of the medication. Can you put on an extra special show? Well, we hope you like this one,
yeah.
Nick Soar. Moving on, Eli says, I was wondering if I should buy the 15-gigabyte iPod or the 20-gigabyte Napster MP3 player. I've done research. I can't decide which one I want.
What is the 20-gigabyte Napster
I've never
MP3
heard of
player?
that.
Well, I don't know if it's made by, I think there was one made by Samsung or something, that they're Napster branding. They're actually, is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Is it the Samsung?
Okay.
It is the Samsung?
Yeah, so it's a Samsung.
Get the iPod.
Yeah, I'd say the iPod. Another cool thing I know that is not out yet, but I noticed that Alpine has announced at CES they're creating a device that you plug in the back of your iPod. You can control your iPod from your stereo deck. That sounds really cool.
Has anybody actually had their hands on that?
They have a
to see
picture.
what the control looks like and whether.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Because I've seen some people do some cool stuff just by like jacking it into the audio input. Like it's a great idea, right? But you have to put it in the trunk. You have to put your iPod in the trunk. Can you actually see the tracks? Can you do the regular navigation?
As soon as it comes out, I'm sure we're gonna have it on the show.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see an Alpine deck with a scroll wheel.
That would be
That
sweet.
would be cool.
That would
be very cool. Sarah?
Blake from Appleton, Wisconsin says, I've got a question on connecting my PlayStation from my cable modem. I have a Toshiba PCX 2600 cable modem and a T3 connection, which is connected straight into my computer. My TV and console about 50 to 20 feet away. Are there any ways to connect my PS2 from my computer without a router?
Wireless access
Yeah,
point
you can do
for
wireless, but then
bridge?
it's going to need a little wireless router there, too, as well.
Really? Well, you can plug a cable from one to the other.
Yeah.
Pull cable or spend money on wireless equipment.
Linksys has a good one. That is it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to thank our guest, FCC Chairman Michael Powell, for taking the time to speak with us.
See you next time. Have a good night.
Coming up next on Tech TV, see the coolest new tech gadgets. Fresh Gear is next.
My name is Charles Hirschbergs. I have written pop songs. I am responsible for polluting the airwaves with mind-numbing puerile entertainment. I call it the dating game. In addition, I have murdered 33 human beings. I work for a government agency. I'm happy to report you fit our profile, Mr. Barnes. Are you interested in more?
I can teach you at least 30 different ways to kill a man with a single blow, Mr. Bear.
The edge of your hand against your adversary's Adam's apple.
Shit. I'm not killing people. My future's in television. Think of it as a hobby.
You're going to be very successful.
When you lead a double life,
You're not like the other murderers.
it's hard to keep one intact.
Take a picture. Take a what?
George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Drew Barrymore and Sam Rockwell. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. December 5, Movie 1.